Now in this video, I just want to give you a brief overview of navigating 3D here inside Photoshop, because it can get a little confusing when you're navigating around the camera versus navigating around the object itself. So for instance, here I've got a cube sitting on a 3D ground plane here inside Photoshop. Now to edit 3D, you're going to need two important panels. Go into the window menu and select 3D. And you're also going to go into the window menu and choose Properties. These are the critical panels you need to be able to edit 3D inside of Photoshop. Now let's say you want to take an object and you want to move your view around the object. You want to check it from other angles while it sits on this ground plane. Well, that means you want to move the camera. Now in the 3D panel here, you're going to want to make sure you have Current View selected, which is the current camera. When you do that, you're going to go up to the options bar up here and you're going to see a collection of 3D tools. Now, you can access these by making sure that your Move tool is selected here in the toolbar. So once that is selected and you have a 3D layer selected, then you'll see these 3D tools. These allow you to manipulate your camera, your lights, and your objects here inside Photoshop. So the first one is the 3D Orbit tool, which allows you to universally rotate around the object. You have the Rotate tool, Pan tool, and the Slide tool. And of course, the Camera Zoom tool is the last one right here. Let's say, for instance, I want to move around my camera or angle of view on my 3D object. So select Current View, click on the 3D Orbit tool, and just click and drag around your object. You'll notice that the ground plane is represented by the 3D grid is moving around and the object is staying put on the ground. So we are moving our angle of view around the object and not the object itself. So that is moving the camera. When you move the camera around, you want to reset it back to its original position. Go over here and make sure you have Current View selected again in the 3D panel. Go to the Properties panel, go to this View menu and choose Default. And that will reset it back to the front face. Now, if you want to move the object around in the scene, select the object itself, in this case, the cube. And then right up here, I'm going to select that Orbit tool, and now I'm going to rotate the object around. Now you'll notice that the ground plane is not moving, but the object is. And this is the difference between moving an object and moving the camera. And this is something you need to pay attention to as we move through the project and as you're working through building your own 3D objects. Now just to point out, one of those little gotchas that can happen here, if you rotate the object around and then go ahead and grab your current view and rotate the camera around, and then you think, well, I have to reset the position. Well, if you go in here into the Properties panel and reset the camera position, it will reset in the right place, but the object is still not in the right position. So select the object itself, go to the Properties panel, and here in the coordinates, you're going to go ahead and choose Reset Coordinates, click on that, and then click on Move to Ground to reset it to the ground plane. So it's important to understand whether or not you're moving the camera around, which is your angle of view on the object, or the object itself. So I just want to make sure that you are aware of that as we progress into this project and navigating 3D.